Today marks 32 years since Hurricane Hugo slammed South Carolina. The Low Country's chief meteorologist, Rob Fowler, was on air days straight saving lives. I sat down with him to hear his story. The Low Country's chief meteorologist says he can still hear the sounds of the howling winds of Hugo.
Everything really escalated to that point of that day on that Thursday, September 21st, where we had to go into another mode and realize that it wasn't turning, it was coming into South Carolina.
You can see just to the southeast of the Charleston area, there's the eye of the storm, very, very potent storm.
The only full-time meteorologist on staff at News 2 at the time of the hurricane.
You just run on adrenaline. You know people are counting on you. You've been trained to do this, hoping that you wouldn't have to do something like this, but you knew that you had to be on TV as long as you possibly could and give the information because it was constantly changing.
Rob Fowler, now a household name, had only been at WCBD for 2 years. On air, in wall-to-wall coverage, News 2 worked for hours, updating you before, during, and after the storm.
I counted, went about 69 hours with no sleep. Almost 3 days with no sleep at all. I could not do that. I'm a lot older now, but I was young back then and I could do it.
The powerful Category 4 storm packed 140 mile per hour sustained winds and 160 mile per hour gust as it made landfall just north of Charleston.
In a way, knock on wood, we were pretty lucky where Hugo hit. If there had to be any storm of that magnitude that hit the coast of South Carolina, it hit the best place because it wasn't as populated as it could have been.
Trees knocked down, homes lifted off the ground and moved to the middle of the road, and roofs torn from buildings.
I'll tell you a story where I was at the Weather Service. They had one roof that was welded on, but one roof that was bolted on, that corrugated metal.
News 2 evacuated the station, and Rob reported from the National Weather Service.
It was quite scary here. A couple of times it sounded like the roof was being pulled off, and many of us ran down this hallway to the bathroom for protection.
Memories as strong as the storm. 32 years later, Hurricane Hugo, still the most significant storm of his career.
After Hugo happened, I felt this amazing tie and bond with this community. We all went through something together.
Hugo was the last major hurricane to make landfall right here in the Low Country. In Mount Pleasant, Christina Lobo, Count on 2.